my God, guys. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, the Good Brothers, are back. Brock Lesnar is back. Seth Rollins, the new United States Champion. What a season premiere of Raw. And I just specifically want to come on here and talk about the Good Brothers, Doc Anderson and Carl Gallows. What a way. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, what a way for them to come back. I really, there were some rumors that they were heading back to WWE, but I didn't think they would come back this soon. Only because I heard, after they dropped the belts to, I don't know more, and after they had their last match, I believe their last match at Impact, they lost to Motor City Machine Guns. I think that was the last match they had, and I didn't think, I didn't think they would come back after that. I thought they still had, some matches left in New Japan. I guess they must have finished up the deal with that or something. But man, what a way for them to come back. The whole way that this was plotted, you know, the Judgment Day comes out. Dominic, first he's pleading for his father to hit him. Ray doesn't want to hit him, so he keeps attacking him. Then after Ray leaves, they cut this long promo talk about how he wants to see his father suffer. The fans were just booing, like Dominic was just getting a ton of heat. And Finn Balor, was bragging about how he beat Edge, made Edge say I quit. He even had them replay the video from Extreme Rules of Edge saying he quit after they were about to concerto his wife, Rhea, and they still did it anyway. And then Rhea talked about, she had a bandage of Beth. So, all these things were going on. They were, talking about that, praising about beating Edge, praising in regards to Ray. And then Finn put his attention to AJ Styles. We know he's been trying to get AJ Styles to side with him. AJ Styles come out. He says he doesn't want to fight. He's not here to fight. And he, I knew when he came out that it was a swerve just because the way he did it. It was almost similar to when Finn first joined the Judgment Day, how we pretty much thought, it was just a trick. But the way they did it, though, was that everybody turned on Edge, the leader. But in this particular case, AJ comes out. He says, you're right. I've been by myself for far too long. I do need some friends. He takes a knee down. Finn is excited. They're all happy. They hug each other. And then he says, I wasn't talking about you. And out comes the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, finally reunited with AJ Styles. The first time they've been together since WrestleMania 36 in that Boneyard match he had with The Undertaker. They actually got released, I think, right after that. The match was heavily praised. Undertaker's final match, the cinematic match, really, amazing, awesome match that they put together on film. It was good to see them back together. I gotta say, man, it was good. I didn't expect this, and I gotta say, with the return of the Good Brothers, um, I really, I really gotta say, like, the Usos are on top of their game, but I would love to see them drop one of these belts at some point. I know they won't drop the belts likely till Roman drops his, but it's like too many teams between them coming back and Legado Fantasma being called up to SmackDown. I mean, there's like a lot of teams, even Imperium, and then you got the Brawling Brutes. You got all these teams. The Viking Raiders they're coming back once Eric recovers from injury. So you got all these teams that's coming. It's going to be on the roster now. And it's just like, man, you kind of feel bad for them. The Usos are pretty much taking up the division. All these teams you want to see, get their shot. But that's just a little side dish. But like I said, man, this was awesome. I really love how they did this. Now the story isn't so much centered so much about Edge and Ray. Ray is still in the picture because of Dominic, but now it's even more focused on AJ Styles and the club. And that's just a great way to like transition the story to Now, what's interesting is how they're going to book this in terms of, are you going to have, with Finn getting his first win on pay per view in quite some time, are you going to have them, lose to these guys? I'm interested to see how they're going to do that. But man, this was great to see them back. Like you said, it's been the first time in 2 years, um, and it really doesn't seem like it. Like, they got released, came to Impact at Slammiversary 2020. Within by Turning Point, they went on to win the Impact Tag Belts for the first time when they beat the North. Then they actually held on to it. I want to say up to like No Surrender, Sacrifice. Then they lost it. Then they won it again at Slammiversary again for a second time. They won the belts 3 occasions, and they really made their mark coming in Impact. They definitely, got themselves back on track after getting released. I kept up with them in Impact because I still watch it. I was watching Impact Wrestling and stuff, and they really made their mark. And man, I gotta say, it was nice to see them back. They had a kind of little tease in Impact where they had it where you thought it was going to be AJ, but you already knew it wasn't going to be when they had Hornswoggle or Swoggle, whatever he calls himself now, like come out and they said phenomenal. So you had that one spot in Impact. But yeah, this was great. Like, and it all comes in full circle when you think about. I looked at the videos and the history account of the Bullet Club. Finn was the original leader, then AJ was the next leader, and that was kind of when the group went to a whole different spot as far as merchandise and stuff like that. But Finn was the original leader, and at that time, AJ wasn't even in the group yet. Wasn't really until Finn left that he joined the group. So it's interesting how this dynamic, this battle took place. So I thought that was perfectly executed, and I'm really interested in seeing where we go from here with this. This was great because AJ's just been kind of I initially thought they probably would have just had him team with Edge, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever they say. I felt like they would have just did that just because they both have the same vendetta with the Judgment Day, but at the same time, um, you know, Edge was the one who created the group originally, so I guess, he wouldn't have wanted to have any affiliation with Edge, but they've done things like that so much. I kind of thought maybe that was the route they were going, or perhaps they were going to do a mixed tag team match down the line with Edge and Rhea against Beth and I guess Beth and Edge and not Edge and Beth versus Rhea and maybe Dominic or something like that. Maybe I don't know. It just and maybe they could still do that, but definitely the story now has kind of shifted where it's more on AJ now, and I really like how they've done that because at this particular point, they were battling with the Mysterios for quite some time, and the Edge thing's been going on ever since they kicked him out of his own group. So this is a nice little change in pace here. I was definitely into this, and like I said, I'm really into what they're going to do for this because these guys, after they got released, they went on, made a pretty good mark and impact, had some, really solid feuds. They had like one or two appearances in AEW, but they had some really solid feuds. Pretty much faced just about every team there was to face. Actually had several run-ins with Honor No More before they left Impact. So this was definitely a nice little change. And then of course you had the Brock Lesnar thing with Bobby. I guess we're going to see another match with those guys. You figure that they're going to be a Saudi crown jewel. They always want to have the older guys come, the legends and stuff like that, or some Saudis really obsessed with having like big names at their shows. So I kind of figure if they were going to do that match again, you'd probably have you probably have Bobby lose the United States belt in a screwy way, or maybe Brock's reason could have to do with him getting screwed with Bobby earlier in the year at the Royal Rumble, even though he won the title back at the Elimination Chamber. But interesting little pace there. He came out and just attacked Bobby. I felt bad for Bobby because the crowd were cheering for it. And then they even cheered, when Seth came out and still challenged him, even though he had been beaten up F5 twice. And, Brock messed his arm up with the Canora lock, which he hadn't used in quite a while, consistently in quite some time. I think the last time he used it was at WrestleMania when Roman was kind of selling it like he actually, messed his arm up and still won the match with a spear. But yeah, this is an interesting way to have them square off again in this aspect. Um, but yeah, man, Bailey loses to Candice LeRae in a surprising upset roll up. Kind of crazy for her considering she just that was interesting. I did not get to see the Johnny Ace Austin Theory match. I have to go back to see that. The Bloodline continues their tension, with the Sammy thing, and he loses to Matt Riddle in the main event. So yeah, a lot of things took place here. Too much to really render, but DX is off the show. But mainly, I just wanted to focus on their returns. Brock return was fine. I guess this makes him a heel again. I really don't know at this point because he came out like a babyface, but then the way he attacked Bobby, that kind of makes him seem like he's a heel again at this point. But the crowd's just gotten so into this new character of his. I guess it just doesn't matter. I don't know, but like I said, just a amazing show. I mean, amazing returns. And that's really what I want to come on here and talk about. So, sign off, Ray Master Flex. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys never. Peace.